Ladies and time wasters, Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. So many times, so many people will say, I don't have enough time. I'm too busy to work on my goals, to make something a priority, to live the life that I want to live. I just don't have time. I'd love to start a business, but I'm just too busy with my job. Or I wish I had the luxury to go outside and talk to women, but I just don't have enough time. I'm here to tell you that nobody is actually busy. We all have enough time. You can make time. And what I want you guys to think about, instead of thinking I don't have time or I'm too busy, start actually being honest with yourself or reframing it in a different way, and instead admit that it's just not a high priority. If it was a high priority, if you had given yourself permission to make it a priority, you would move heaven and earth to make it happen. You would rearrange your life. You would stop doing some of the time-wasting things that you're doing. We are all wasting time. I will put my hand up, put my hand on my heart, and admit I waste plenty of time. And so if I ever say I'm not, or I'm too busy to do something, the actual truth is, no, this just isn't a priority. I could stop doing the time-wasting stuff. I could stop fucking around on my phone. I could stop watching movies. I could stop just going for a walk and listening to music. I could make this thing a big priority. When I was working 8 hours a day, and it was more than that when I added in the 3-hour commute that I used to have to take, I was working in this warehouse job 8 hours a day, commuting 3 hours a day to work. I could have said I don't have time to build this, to build my community, to build my website, to write articles. I had no free time, technically. I really didn't. So you know what I did? I made some fucking time. I literally made time. I would write and respond to emails. So I'd write articles and respond to emails on the bus and the train. Or I would, on my lunch break, sit there writing articles, answering people's emails, booking in coaching calls, hustling. I made as much time as I possibly can. I've even said this before. There were times where I'd go and take a bathroom break and I'd be in there for like 10 minutes, hoping that the bosses and stuff wouldn't notice or wouldn't care. I'd be in there on my fucking phone typing an article. I would make time because this was a priority for me. This was something that was important. I didn't have time. I was working an 8-hour-a-day job with a 3-hour commute. I was fucking exhausted. I didn't have any time. So I bloody well made time. Most of my coaching clients don't have time. They really don't. They're busy people. Most of the people who sign up for my coaching are busy as shit. They just live a busy lifestyle. They're often running a business and also trying to work on their dating and sex life at the same time. Maybe they have family commitments. They're working long hours in tech, all of that sort of stuff. They can come to me and say, look, I don't have time to work on my sex and dating life. Maybe I'll do it in the future. Maybe I'll wait till everything is perfect. No, they make time. They say, I'm going to have to make this a priority. Or maybe it's like losing weight. Okay, I'm going to have to make this a priority. Maybe it's, like I said, building a business, working on their sex and dating life. I'm going to have to make this thing a higher priority, which means I'm going to have to make time. I'm going to have to find ways to cram it in. If you sit there, again, I'll make it really clear. If you sit there and wait until the moment in life where you just have infinite free time and you're not busy, first of all, that day may never come. And second of all, if you only take action or if you only work on your goals when you're not busy, what the hell are you going to do the next time you are busy? Do you really think for the rest of your life you're never going to have another moment where you're busy? Do you think you're just going to have free time for the rest of your life? No. So why the hell wouldn't you work on this goal when you're busy now? And so then if you do have a moment where you have more free time, awesome. You're going to make even more progress. And then if you get busy again, cool, who cares? I already know how to take action when I'm busy. So there's such a skill to pushing past this limiting belief or this bullshit belief of I don't have enough time or now's not the right time or, I can't do this now. I need to wait till I have more free time. No, even if that moment comes where you have more free time, you're just going to be fucked again the next time you're busy. And you're going to say, oh, I'm busy. I got to stop this goal. You're just going to stop and start. And I see so many guys do this, right? They will decide to commit to their sex and dating life. And when the sun is shining and everything's perfect and they have free time, yeah, they'll commit to it. They'll go and talk to some women. They'll take some Tinder pictures. But then the second they get busy or the second something happens, they go, oh, No, I can't do this now. Life got in the way. I have to stop. And they will keep stopping and starting, and they will waste years, fucking years. People do the same thing with a business. Okay, when work isn't stressful, then I will work on my side business, on the weekends or on the side. But the second my job gets really stressful and busy, well, I can't be working on my business after work now because I need to relax after work because my job is stressful. So I want to come home and have a beer and chill and just have a nice time. And I'll work on the business when work is a little less stressful. It's like work may never be less stressful. There is always just going to be some other thing that comes along that kicks you out of this or that slaps you in the face and says, hey, here's some stress, or here's some busy work, or here's some extra shit to deal with. And so if you only ever take action towards your goals when everything is perfect, like when the sun is shining, if you're going to be a fair weather, self-improvement person, you only work when there's fair weather, you're going to be fucked like 75% of the year. So take action even when things aren't perfect. More to the point, you can drop a lot of the bullshit that you're doing. A lot of the stuff that we're doing is literally bullshit. Again, I'll put my hand up and admit it. I spend a huge portion of my day when I'm not being productive. I spend a huge portion of my day just doing bullshit stuff. And when I decide, hey, listen, I'm going to get really serious, I'm going to commit to this goal and really make it happen, then I remove all of the bullshit that I'm doing. Things like watching YouTube, watching movies, going for long walks and not really doing anything with that time. And that stuff is fantastic. That stuff is fun. But don't lie to yourself and say that you're busy if you're spending half of your day watching movies or watching Netflix or playing video games or looking at porn or drinking or not sleeping very well. Any of that stuff is a drain on your time and your energy. Be honest and admit that you're doing that shit. Cut that stuff out. One thing that you can do as well, if you feel like there are some tasks right now that you want to do, but maybe they're clashing with your main goal. What I mean by that is let's pick a random goal. Let's say you decide that your goal is to improve your sex in your dating life, right? You want to meet a bunch of women, you want to have a bunch of sex, maybe you settle down with someone, but you want to get in there and really, optimize your sex life and have a bunch of kinky sex, right? Let's say that's important to you. You might also be working a little bit on a business on the side, right? And maybe you're also losing weight, and maybe you're also working on your social life, and maybe at the same time, you're also going to yoga every day, and you're also, helping your friend move. Like, let's say you're doing a bunch of tasks, right? What you can do is if you decide that having lots of sex is your number one main priority right now, and you really want to make it your priority, what you can do is just hit the pause button on a couple of those other goals. You know what I mean? If something like if yoga isn't super important to you, but it is taking up some time, just hit pause on it. You're not dropping it forever. You can even write it down in a notebook or something so that you remember it, so you don't forget it, and just say, I'm going to pause this temporarily for 6 months while I work on my sex and dating life, maybe a year. I'm going to pause it temporarily. Maybe I will also pause, working on my business. The business can just sit there. I'll do the bare minimum. I'm not going to go all in with it because it's basically impossible to do two main goals at once, like big goals like that, working on a business and working on your sex life. That's two very big fucking goals. I'll pick one and I will put the other one on the side. This is what I've had to do with all of my goals. And again, this is just prioritization. You're basically saying this goal is a priority for me. It's the main thing I care about. You pause the other stuff temporarily while you work on this main fucking goal. And then once you've handled that main goal, you can go back to the other stuff. You can make something else your priority. But again, to really drill it into you guys, you're not busy. Don't lie to yourself and say that you're busy. Definitely don't lie to yourself and say, now's not the right time. I'll wait until I have more free time. I'll wait until I'm in a better city. I'll wait until it's summer. It's too hard in winter, especially when it comes to sex and dating. God, how many guys will say, I'm not going to talk to any girls because it's winter. Andy, I'm not going to sign up for your coaching because it's winter. I'll wait till it's summer because then there'll be more girls out. What the fuck are you going to do every single year when it's winter? Are you just going to go into hibernation like a bear every year? What about spring and autumn where it starts getting a little bit cold as well? Are you just going to go into hibernation then? Are you going to go into hibernation for essentially half of the year? No, fuck that shit. If you can, make what's that saying? Fuck it, I can't think of the saying, but if it's in the middle of winter, if circumstances aren't perfect, if you can figure out how to succeed during imperfect circumstances, holy shit, think about what you can accomplish when everything is fantastic. That's when the magic really starts to fucking happen. And then again, if you learn, if you push yourself, if you give yourself permission to take action and really work on your goals when circumstances aren't perfect, the next time things aren't perfect in the future, you can say, hey, I already know what to do here. I've already been through this process of working on my goals even when things weren't perfect. I know what I'm doing. Back on the topic of, when you're sitting there saying that you're busy, so many of you say you're busy. I'm busy. Now's not the right time. This isn't the good time. I'll wait till the future. I'll wait till I'm in a different city. I'll wait till blah, blah, blah. If you find yourself saying I'm busy, what you can do is you can say to yourself, what am I doing right now that is more important than my number one goal? Like if you actually admit to yourself, yes, I want to work on my sex and dating life. I want to have a lot of sex, or I want a girlfriend, or I want to get married and have kids, or maybe it's business. I want to make money. I want to have financial freedom. If that's your number one goal, what are you doing in your life that's more important than that? Right? Like this is the thing you say you want. So many of you are watching my channel because you want to have a lot of sex like I've had. Maybe you want to have threesomes like I've had with my lovely girlfriend Imogen. Maybe you want the kind of relationship we have, an open relationship. She brings in girls, she meets other women, she does all of it at this point. I do nothing. I don't even have a fucking Tinder and Bumble at this point in time. She does everything. She's literally doing 100% of it. She runs my accounts and shit. If that's something you want, if these are things that you want, money, this, losing weight, friends, whatever it might be, whatever that goal is, if it's actually something that you're saying you want and you're watching my content because you want that, admit that to yourself and then ask yourself the question, what am I possibly doing in my life that's more important than that? And if you take inventory and actually are honest with yourself, most of how you're spending your hours and your days and your weeks and your months, you're just doing bullshit procrastination life stuff. Right? You're just doing the usual cog in the machine bullshit of go to work, come home, have a fucking beer and watch some Netflix and eat some shitty food and then go to sleep too late, like, fucking 10 p.m. or midnight or something, wake up the next day half asleep, go to work again, have several coffees to wake myself up. If you need coffee to even be able to function, by the way, that right there, this is a side tangent, but that right there is a big fucking giant red flag saying, hey, you're not sleeping properly. But you're a cog in the machine. You're just living. You're just existing. You're not even actually fucking making anything with your life. You're not making anything of yourself. You're not doing anything. And so what are you possibly doing that's more important than the thing that you want? Nothing. You're doing bullshit. I think probably 75% of you listening, if you're just honest with yourself right now, you're just doing a bunch of bullshit. You really are. You're not working on the thing that's important to you. You're not going outside and taking action. Or if you are, you're not taking anywhere near the amount of action it would take to reach your goal. You're not dreaming big. You're not even consistent with the daily little, baby steps every single day. You're not going out every day and talking to at least one woman every single day and asking for her phone number. Are you? Be honest with yourself. You're not. Or if making money right now is your goal, are you messaging at least one person every day and asking them directly for money? Or are you doing at least one piece of content every day? More than that would be great. 5 a day would be great. But are you doing at least one piece of content every single day? If losing weight is your goal, are you walking at least 20 or 30,000 steps a day? If it's your number one fucking goal, you can crank out 30,000 steps. Fuck knows I cranked out that many steps when I lost my 77 pounds. I was walking like you would not believe. I was walking for like 6 or 7 hours a day. I got a standing desk so that I could stand up while I was working, like at my job. And then I would walk around. I would walk to work. I would walk from work. Every time I wanted to use a lift or an elevator, I would instead take the stairs. I was cranking out like 30,000 steps a day, minimum. On the weekends, way more than that. Like 50,000 on the weekends until I was fucking exhausted. Yeah, I lost the fucking weight. So if this is something that's important to you, which all of you listening right now have hopes and dreams, you do. Even if you've told yourself you don't deserve them or it's not the right time or, you're not the right person who could get those goals or, somebody else deserves it, but not me. I'm not good enough. I'm too this or I'm too that or I had a bad childhood or whatever the excuse is or the the limiting belief, push through that and just fucking take some goddamn action. Again, most of the time what we're doing with ourselves and the way we're spending our time, we're just doing bullshit. Or even if we're doing something like we're hanging out with friends, we're just kind of spending all of our time hanging out with friends and not doing anything productive. You're not doing anything except kind of drinking and just hanging out. It's not like you're meeting your friends and working on the next business proposal, or meeting your friends and going and talking to some women, or meeting your friends to go for a jog so that you can lose some weight or something like that. A lot of the time, we're also doing a lot of stuff that we think we need to do, like the busy work, the bullshit work. One of my friends calls that action faking. Like, you're faking action. It looks like you're taking action, but you're faking it. You're just kind of wasting time. And so much of, the self-improvement journey is getting rid of that action faking and actually saying to yourself, okay, what would really move the needle forward here? Like, if I'm going to take some baby steps every single day and be consistent with that, and when I say baby steps, by the way, you're allowed to do way more than baby steps every day, but if I'm at least just going to be consistent and take some baby steps every single day, I need to make sure those baby steps are actually getting me towards the goal. Like, I'm not just going to sit there and clean the house for the 5th time this week because I'm procrastinating going outside and saying hello to a goddamn woman and asking for her phone number. I'm not going to convince myself that, or I'm not going to waste my time and say, oh, I'm definitely working on my business because this week I spent 5 hours making this spreadsheet really pretty, and so I'm super organized. I had a friend, and I've talked about this in podcasts, and I've talked about this with him, and he fucking laughs. Now, when he was first working on his business, he spent probably the first 3 months just like fucking around and like making spreadsheets that were like really, really, really pretty. And then I'd be like, okay, bro, that's great, but how many bits of content have you written this week? And he's like, whoa, no, I was spending like 10 hours making this spreadsheet really well organized so that I can organize the content that I make. And I was like, bro, you could have done 10 pieces of content and just written it in a fucking Google Doc or in a Google Sheet just on the first line. Like, you don't need to be this organized. He would write software and stuff. Like, he wrote his own management software, essentially, for how he was going to manage the process of, like, writing content. And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Just write content. How many times or how much of what you guys are doing or what we do is action faking? So much of it. So many of you listening right now, not all of you, obviously, but lots of you listening right now, this is probably hitting pretty fucking hard because you're like, yeah, goddamn, man, like, I've just sat there and watched 100 of Andy's videos at this point, and I haven't gone outside and talked to a single woman. Or I've read Andy's entire Tinder guide, back to front, every single word of that 130,000 word fucking magnum opus behemoth, but I haven't even installed Tinder yet, or I haven't done a photo shoot. I didn't buy the camera that Andy recommended and go out and take the photos. How many of you, want to lose weight and you're like, yeah, I'm just, watching a lot. I'm trying to figure out the perfect workout plan, or I'm trying to figure out the perfect diet. I just need to do a bit more research and figure out if I should be doing If It Fits You macros, or what's this keto diet all about? Should I be doing keto or carnivore? Let me investigate that. Why the fuck haven't you gone for a walk today and walked 30,000 steps? Or why the fuck haven't you just eaten a little bit less than you did yesterday and then see what happens? Like, get started. That's the point of this video. It's the point of most of my content, right? Throw yourself in the deep end. I think so many of you are afraid of failing or not doing a perfect job. Now isn't the right time, or I need to finish this thing first, or let me read a little bit more material and a few more books and stuff before I take action. You're scared to fail. You're failing right now by not taking action. Every single second that you sit there just watching my content or listening to my goddamn content, but not taking action, that's a failure. It's a failure to launch. It's a failure to start. You haven't done anything. You're not a success if you just listen to me. I appreciate the fact you fucking listen. Hey, that's fantastic. But you're not making progress. Do not lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're making progress because you watch some self-improvement content. Or you read David Goggins' book and you fucking punched yourself in the dick and said, hey, look at me, I'm fucking David Goggins, I can do anything. No, go out and run a mile like David Goggins. Do some content like I do. Go out and talk to a woman. Sign up for my goddamn coaching. Join our forums. Do something that's actually taking action instead of just watching the content and talking about or telling yourself what you're going to do. The number of people in YouTube comments, and you guys are pretty good actually, but there'll still be plenty of comments where people will say, I'm going to go out and talk to women, or I've decided that I'm going to do this, or I'm thinking about doing this. No, why the fuck haven't you already done it? Why are you telling us what you're going to do? You're just lying. You're giving yourself a dopamine hit, and you're just going to make an excuse as to why you're not going to do that thing. You'll convince yourself, yeah, I'm going to do it. Then when it comes time to do it, you'll pussy out. You get that dopamine hit from saying, I'm going to do something, but you don't actually do the thing. You're better off just saying nothing, going out and doing the thing, coming back and saying, hey, Andy, or hey, guys, I took action. Here's what I did. I didn't wait till everything was perfect. I didn't wait till the right time. I didn't lie to myself and say that I was too busy or now's not the right time or whatever. No, this is a goal that is important to me. This is something that I care about. And so I decided to make it number one priority right there at the top. I made time. I moved stuff around in my calendar. I put it there above all else as the top priority. It comes first. And to be clear, you can still do other things in your life. I'm not saying you never get to have any entertainment or see your friends or have any other goals. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you're telling yourself that you're busy, or if you're telling me that you're busy, or if you're telling other people that now's not the right time, or if you're saying to yourself, I'll work on my goals next year or next month or when I move out or after I finish university or blah, 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 whatever it might be, you're probably fucking lying to yourself. You're probably just not making this a priority. Again, I was working an 8-hour-a-day job with a 3-hour commute. That's 11 hours out of the day. It was a physical job too. I was working in a warehouse. I was doing physical manual labor, lifting like 30 kilogram and 20 kilogram boxes all day. And yet I still made time to run a coaching business on the side and to do content creation on the side, to write articles. That shit took so much fucking effort. It did. But it was important to me, so I made time. Other periods in my life where working on my sex life and having a bunch of sex was important to me. At that point when it was important to me, I took time off from my job. I barely had any fucking money. I had to take out a bank loan, technically. I was eating like ramen noodles. But I took time off work so that I could make this thing a priority because I wasn't going to sit there and say, nah, I'm too busy. Maybe I'll wait till I have a bit more money and then I can take some time off work and then I can do this. No, fuck that shit. Fuck waiting. Like, get up in the morning and do a little bit on your goal, whatever that goal might be. Do it as soon as you wake up. Don't give yourself that opportunity to procrastinate. The second you wake up in the morning, there's this beautiful book called Eat That Frog. The second you wake up in the morning, eat that fucking frog. What that means is whatever your goal is, just take a little bit of action towards that the second you wake up in the morning. Don't sit around and say, I'm busy, I need to do this, or I have to do this, or I got to have my coffee, or I need to go to the gym first, or I need to do this. No, whatever your most important goal is, whatever the thing that your heart desires the most is, do that first in the morning first, and then start working on the other stuff. So by the time by the time midday rolls around or the afternoon, or by the time you go to work or whatever, you've already done a little bit on your job, on your goal, on your main mission. So, make that a priority. Do that absolutely first. And don't sit there and make these dumb excuses, guys. Like, so many of you are just wasting time on like bullshit tasks and doing stuff that like you pretend is important, but it's not really important. Like, there's so many people, like Dan Henry has said this, Steve Jobs has said this. Success is about what you focus on, and you have to block everything else out. Like, Steve Jobs said, I'm as proud of the 1,000 things we said no to as the 100 things we said yes to. In other words, I've had to learn, or he's had to learn to say no to stuff, to push stuff away, to say this isn't important. I'm just going to prioritize and make time for the stuff that is important. It's about what you focus on, guys and girls. Another little quick cheat code you can do there is if you find yourself getting distracted by YouTube or by your phone or any of that, put your phone on silent. Use apps like Block Sight and other ones like that to block YouTube, to block apps, to block anything that distracts you. You can turn your phone onto grayscale. I have my phone permanently on silent. My phone is permanently on silent. People can call me So if there's an emergency, I will hear that. But all text messages don't make a sound. They don't buzz. They don't vibrate. They don't light up the screen. WhatsApp, Telegram, shit like that. It doesn't vibrate or light up the screen. I keep that shit on silent permanently. I block YouTube, I block movies, I block all that sort of shit so that, I've blocked porn as well. I block everything that's a distraction to me so I can just focus on the thing that I'm actually saying that I care about and not lying to myself and saying I'm busy. You're not busy. Again, to really drill it in, you're wasting time. You're not busy. This goal that you say you want, you just haven't made it a priority. You know what I mean? Other things you can do. You can uninstall Tinder on your phone and just use the web version on your PC. So you're not sitting there on your phone like swiping and fucking around. No, you will only use it on your PC maybe in the afternoon or something. You can schedule times when you use it. Whenever you find yourself procrastinating your main goal or the thing that's important to you, immediately, like the second you realize you're wasting time or procrastinating, immediately do at least 30 seconds on it. And when I say immediately, I mean like bam, right then. This is a trick that I've used so many times and it fucking works. If I catch myself procrastinating, I'm like, whoops, I was procrastinating. Okay, I need to do at least 30 seconds right now, immediately. And I'll do at least 30 seconds on that goal. Most of the time you end up doing more than that, but 30 seconds absolutely minimum. So if I'm in the stage of like writing a book or writing an article or something, when I find myself procrastinating, I will go, okay, well now I have to write at least one sentence in that article. Or if it's like I'm doing podcasts and shit, I will say, okay, I have to write notes for an upcoming podcast for at least like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I just have to write a couple of sentences. Anytime I'm procrastinating, I will throw myself in there. And again, often that 30 seconds will become like 30 fucking minutes of you just being productive. Like, or even if you only work on it for 30 seconds, hey, you did it for 30 seconds. So success and goals and having a mission and all of this shit requires you to put that thing that you want as the number one priority. You got to make it absolute beast of a priority, whether that's having a lot of sex, whether that's finding a wife to settle down with, whether that's building a business, it might be financial freedom, it might be losing weight, it might be going and building a social circle, it might even be overcoming depression, something I'm very fucking familiar with. Whatever it is, set that thing as your main priority and don't let anything else come before it. Don't let busyness get in the way. Don't make a dumb excuse like now's not the right time or I'm fucking busy or whatever other bullshit you tell yourself. It's winter, so I can't do it. No, fuck that shit. You have so much free time in the day. You just haven't been organized. You just haven't been prioritizing. You haven't made time. Again, I will say this until the cows come home. I worked an 8-hour-a-day job full-time with a 3-hour commute, and I still built a coaching business and my website. I wrote like 100 articles in that year. I was writing like 2 articles a week while working a full-time, thing with a 3-hour commute, which fucking exhausted me because it was physical labor, and answering all the emails and doing people's coaching calls. I was coaching people as well as all of that. I was doing so many bloody things. I made time for that shit. It was important to me. I wasn't going to sit there and say, maybe I should get a different job and wait till I have a different job, or maybe I should wait till I have a bit more energy. Maybe I'll just only write on the weekends. No, I wrote on the weekends, obviously, but I wrote every fucking day I was going to work because I knew if I want this thing, I'm going to have to make it a priority. And again, so many of you have these goals that you care about passionately. You're deeply, deeply, deeply wanting these goals, but you're just not giving yourself permission to go all in. So you're not busy. You're just not you're just not prioritizing. And again, I see this so much with my goddamn coaching. How many of you are sitting there going, man, I would love it if Andy could just help me. I'd love it if I could just have the dating or the sex life that I want. Man, I'd love lots of threesomes and BDSM and to actually know that women fucking like me and that I deserve this shit and that my life isn't a fucking waste. I want that validation. I want that self-love. I want that self-affirmation. But you're making excuses. I don't have the money, or now's not the right time, or I'm going to wait till it's summer, or I don't know, I guess I'll do it one day, but I'm waiting until blah, blah, blah. I have heard that so many fucking times. You're just going to wait forever. And if you don't do it now, you don't sign up right fucking now, just because you're busy. Again, what the hell are you going to do the next time you're busy? You're going to throw in the towel. You're going to say, I can't talk to women, or I can't build a business, or I can't, whatever it is that you want me to coach you on. I can't do that because I'm busy again. If you only take action when you're free or when you have tons of free time, you're only going to succeed when you have tons of free time. And the rest of your life isn't going to just be this wide open path of like free time. No, we all know that life gets in the way constantly. Whenever you have a plan, you can trust life to fuck that plan up. It'll just slap you across the face and say, sorry, bitch, here's a car accident. Sorry, bitch, I'm going to kill off your grandmother. Sorry, bitch, that girl you really like, she's going to reject you really brutally. Sorry, bitch, your boss is going to fire you this week. Huh? How are your plans going now, bitch? Life has a fucking goddamn beautiful track record of doing that, to us. It's not to us, but that happening, right? And so if you sit there and say, I'm not going to sign up for coaching, I'm not going to take action, I'm not going to do this thing until everything is perfect, man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're just going to have a shitty, mediocre life like everybody else, because that's what everybody else does. Do you think people want to be average and like normal and not achieve anything? No. They have hopes and dreams. They have big fucking goals. They just tell themselves they're only going to work on these goals when everything is perfect. Or, well, I'd love to work on that, but, I'm just tired from my job. Like, it's easy for other people to work on this, but not me. Or I'd love to go and talk to women, but, I just, I don't know. And they make excuses. People don't try to be mediocre and average. They want to be great. We all have a fucking hero inside of us. It's kind of the story of humanity. We all have this beautiful hero inside of us, but too many people make excuses and say, now's not the right time. Or I wait till summer. Or I wait till I have more money. Or I can't afford that. Well, that's not me. I don't know if I could be that person. I don't know if I'll succeed. Cut that shit out. Just take some fucking action, ladies and gentlemen. I've said this so many times. I am sitting right here, willing to go all in with you on whatever these fucking goals are. Whatever your goals are, I am willing to just throw myself in there and do everything I possibly can to make you win. So is Cam, who's the coach alongside me. You get both of us and the rest of the guys in the group. It's basically pay to win. All of us just circling around you and saying, hey, motherfucker, we're going to make you successful. And if you're sitting there with everything that I've just said, and you're thinking like, fuck, man, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can, just fucking take the plunge, because I'm telling you, you are going to sit on the sidelines. You are going to sit on the bench for the rest of your life if you only wait until things are perfect. Don't be that person. Be the person that takes some fucking action, grabs his nuts, and actually does something with his life. I will leave a link in the description to my coaching program. Click the goddamn button. Jump on a call with me. If you're scared, if you're nervous, if you're worried that I don't know if I can prioritize this, or I don't know if I can spend the money, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I'm going to win, I don't know if I can succeed, jump on a goddamn call with me, a free fucking call, and I will sit there and I will do everything I possibly can to help you with those fears and get it into your head that you fucking deserve this, because you, yes you, the person listening, you fucking deserve greatness.